Yes!
Time
Yes!
for another episode of the Homebrew.
The homebrew!
It's been a pretty exciting intermission. It's been pretty exciting.
Loads and loads of inner excitement,
Entertainment
entertainment, and excitement.
Entertainment. I'm sure that'll be.
I'm not even drunk right now.
That'll be the newest term for female
Entertainment?
masturbation.
We're going straight from button mashing in the last episode.
Yep. Entertainment. I'm coining it.
Entertainment.
Ladies, next time that you want to do something instead of maybe seeing your boyfriend or something like that, just tell them, you know what, it's a night I just need to sit back and get some entertainment in.
Yeah, do it.
It'll confuse the fuck out of them.
Tell them the people
And
from
you get
Fire
to
Ice Productions.
masturbate. Isn't that the greatest thing? When you can masturbate all alone without any questions? Just confuse the shit out of them. At least you're giving an explanation.
Yeah. You know, he probably wouldn't even be mad if you honestly said, babe, I'm just going to masturbate by myself tonight. You go do your thing. He'll probably just be like, well, shit, all right.
Can I watch?
Well, yeah, there's that.
Oh.
Doing a crack.
Oh, it feels good. Thursday, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
In your time, it is Thursday.
I can see the future.
Or are you hearing it?
That was a Dragon Ball abridged reference.
Oh,
It's
God.
It's connected with some people just now.
You'll never let go of your inner gayness for Takahata 101.
That one might have been Lanny Pator that actually voiced that guy, the Futurian. I don't remember
The
I don't know
idea
the
that
name.
your mind is on it. Inner gayness.
Actually, I have to admit, out of all the Team 4-Star people, I would say Lanny Pator is my favorite one. He does the voices
that
of
out of all the
Vegeta
legs
and
of the table, you keep bumping most of them.
just the one I'm next to. I haven't seen any action in weeks. Take what I can get.
Oh, dear.
By weeks, I mean a year.
That's the first leg in a while that you've rubbed up against.
It is.
Just keep your
Intentionally.
pants
I'm wearing shorts. Joke's on you.
on. I honestly didn't notice that. The entire time we've been hanging out, I have not noticed that you've been wearing shorts. I should just take it as kind of like a trademark of your presence in my home, because generally you are wearing shorts.
Generally, I am wearing shorts. That's true.
You're the one guy that in the wintertime, it's like, yeah, I don't see what the big deal is.
I don't. My legs are super hairy. It's a warmer.
You just have some of that caveman shit still in you.
Would you say
Or
that
none
I'm
of it
just
bothers
really,
ya?
really hot all of the time?
What's that?
I'm just really hot all of the time in more ways than one.
I'm hot all the time, but my balls sweat themselves into melting.
So, one of the worst things is my computer's connected to my TV right now, so I don't have a desk. I sit on my bed and I play, and a lot of the times I'll put my keyboard kind of like on my my lap if I'm not playing games.
That's the worst.
I'll just like watch YouTube videos and like type up some stuff and work on side projects like the podcast or some Let's Plays, and then there was
there's just an absolute jungle in your pubes.
Like last week when it was like 70 degrees out, and by the way, my window does not have a screen on it, and there is a wasp's nest right outside my window, so I can't just leave my window open.
Oh God,
there's a risk, and I don't really want to get my ass stung up, so I have a fan blowing hot air in. So it was just, I didn't think much of it because I sat there, so I wasn't aware.
If you were smart, you'd have a fan blowing like the remnants of wasps into your room.
I am not
smite your
pissing off the
your
wasps.
enemies. Don't be a puss.
I was actually going to wait till it was raining and then take care of them when I slept in today. But yeah, because like my niece plays downstairs when it's nice outside. So last thing I want to do is knock down this wasp nest and then
just
right
spray it
into
from
her.
the window. Just spray through the mesh or the screen.
I don't have a screen.
Oh
yeah, I don't have the mesh thing.
Oh,
that's why. Otherwise, I'd keep my window
makes it
open.
Dangerous.
Yeah, so I don't leave it open. Otherwise, I would. I'd spray through it. But I don't have a mesh, so I have to just sit there in the
And
ball
just-
sweat, and then just while I'm trying to watch Markiplier scream his head off, and I'm just like, my balls are sweating, and
you're
not
just
for
getting
Markiplier.
you're getting a death ray from the sun right onto your ball sack.
Well, I mean, there's like a wall.
It's like what happens to dogs and cats when they like get into the sunlight and like the window, and it just amplifies that that comfort level for them to the point where they lay down like pigs. It's the exact
It's so
opposite for humans.
No, I mean, I get super groggy, and it's nice. It's just the ball sweat.
Oh God.
It's gross.
I am not having fun with my occupation wearing Carhartts in the warmer weather, because I don't even have to be doing anything. Like, for a lot of it, I drive a truck, and it just doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter what I do. You're just uncomfortable and fucking sweaty all the time.
I wonder how bad it is for girls and their boob sweat, because I've heard them talk about it. I mean, I've been around boob sweat before, and I didn't think much of it, but I would imagine has to be worse than ball sweat.
Because it's like folds.
Yeah, and it's
like being around like a guy who's way fatter than me.
Yeah.
And like they have those folds, and it just it never really moves unless they're running or something.
I would hide so many Tootsie Rolls in my fat rolls if I had them.
My tits bounce up and down when I run. I can only imagine that if I had folds.
I am picturing that in slow motion. Do 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 ah. The Mentos song was playing in the background while you're running, and I'm picturing like you're wearing sweatbands and a head sweatband.
Can I be wearing those 1980s basketball shorts?
That's how I'm picturing
or
you.
1970s. Is that
they're
that
super?
era?
They're super like what booty shorts are now, and you're wearing like Converse, but with your
God.
the tube socks pulled all
Yes.
the way up.
half calf tube socks.
Yeah, the bright like neon yellow tank top.
I love it.
That's sleeves are way too short for a tank top, and
How can that be
Mentos.
too short for a tank top?
you know the ones I'm thinking of. There's like, it's like the shoulder part looks thinner than it should be, for like in
it's
proportion
almost
with
like
the rest of
a
the shirt.
dude spaghetti strap.
Yeah, and you're just jogging, and your boobs are just like do 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 do.
Independent movement.
Oh yeah, actually they can't see me. Yeah, one goes up, one goes down, and then I'm driving
Oh,
by with
Jesus.
that chick from Taco Bell with some fire sauce, eating my burritos.
An ass fuck of
An
fire
ass-
sauce.
So we went through the Taco Bell drive-through, and Steve goes, "Hey, make sure you get an ass fuck of fire sauce."
And I made sure that he would tell the
And,
drive-through
well,
lady.
yeah, I said, all right, I'm gonna phrase it just like that, because I don't know how much that is. Maybe she does. So she comes
She
to the
got it
window.
right. She
and
got it
she's-
right.
She's like, she goes, "Hi, what kind of sauces would you like?" And I'm like, "An ass fuck of fire sauce." And she thought I said ass bucket. So she literally grabs the bucket. I don't know if you saw that, but she grabbed the
No,
bucket
I was-
of the
I
fire
was-
sauce.
Looking down in shame.
Yeah, she grabs the bucket of fire sauce, all the packets, and just grabs like 3 or 4 handfuls and just dumps it in the bottom of the bag.
Jesus.
It was amazing.
And I also said some other things that I'm not proud of, but I was trying to be obnoxious, and I think
It was
she
hilarious.
got it. I think she got it.
She had a good time. She wouldn't have given us all that fire sauce if she didn't like us.
She would have given me the standard 2.
But what was it you said?
Can I have some? By the way, I have 5 burritos that can I get some fire sauce? And you get home, because you're not going to look in the drive-thru and hold those other fine folks up. So you get home and you're looking through all these burritos that you got because you're a fat fuck, and this is about the time that you stop ordering fast food, and there are 2 fire sauce packets, and it sends you over the rails.
That's what sends you. Yeah, when you're not getting the right amount of fire sauce, that's the worst part of your day. I think you're having an okay life.
I think it's just expectation versus
yeah, you should get at least 1 packet per item.
what is that? What is that called? Expectation versus conclusion or
Reality,
Yeah,
expectation versus reality.
it's kind of like when you expect to go home and you're like in go home mode, and then your boss is like, "Yeah, somebody dropped out. We need you to stay for like 2 hours." And you're like,
work on Saturday.
You can't say no, because in this employment system, you have to. Otherwise, you get a mark on your attendance. I've been in this situation before. It's anecdotal evidence, but it does exist. But I don't know.
That's why I
there is no worse feeling than like I'm gonna go home, gonna relax, drink a beer, play a video game, maybe watch a movie,
take a dump.
Like all the things that would encompass a good night off, and somebody tells you that you have to stay with your foot out the door. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, I guess I'll just fucking clock back in then.
Oh, and do you even get thanked for doing it? No. You're treated like shit, even though you're, excuse me, and I know in your most of your cases, you just say, yeah, I guess I can stay. And you don't even get thanked for it. You get treated like shit, even though you're the one helping out.
In the past, I'm lucky enough to work where I work now. But
that's true. I don't know.
In the past, it has been a very thankless account of just doing things to no merit of upper management. And I would rather not get into that right now. That's something for a later day. But yeah. I'm using it as evidence to support a theory that
further in the future,
maybe people are shooting up so many places because their goddamn boss asks them to stay a minute before they're supposed to go home.
I just blow up the bathroom. Like if
there's any chance that, see, with that place though, where I was referring to, you had to like do safety meetings with the next shift, and I was working nights, so you couldn't just like bail out and like hide away until you could clock out and go. Like you had to face everybody. And if everybody had already said no, it's you. And if you say no, then you get a mark on your attendance, which is a total chicken shit way to run a business. But
they seem to forget, well, because they hold it above your head, but it's a partnership. Like I choose, or in your case, you, like a person chooses to work for a company. They don't have to stay there.
Yeah.
But I get why people don't want to piss off their boss. It's not a good thing to do. But I don't like that corporations and just companies take advantage of the fact that they're aware of that.
Yeah, well, it's got to be well placed. And you can't make that kind of opposition without like having it be well deserved. I've learned a lot about my place in life. Mm-hmm. I'm not the most right person all the time, but I make sure that if I'm going to criticize something that I acknowledge my own faults with it before I really condemn somebody else for doing something. I try to anyway. Mm-hmm. It's a brutally honest flaw, but
are you left-handed?
I am right-handed.
Then you are more right than the left-handers.
That was a terrible one. That was bad.
That was great. I don't know what you're talking about. Just drink some more alcohol and I'll tell the joke again later.
I think I've had a few. If you're not making me laugh at this point, then that's on you. That's not.
I don't think anything will top my Chuck Norris turning left.
No, I think that one pretty much caught me off guard enough. Now I'm just expecting that you're going to throw something at me.
Now you just expect that I'm. Well, that and you know me.
Yeah, I do.
Look into the future.
So, we talked about this. I know it's a couple weeks late, but I felt like I had to calm down from it because it enraged me so hard.
Social media
sounded so sexy. Yeah, the gal who's just apologizing for our entire generation.
Oh yeah, I've actually been seeing that video. It hasn't gone away. Like I'll kind of forget about it in the back of my mind, and then on some platform it'll pop back up, or somebody will mention it. Like it actually came up in conversation with my family yesterday. So that was just I don't get it.
We have to bring this up because I've never wanted to seem too defensive about it. That is where I fucking draw the line. Is where this gal, I can't say that she doesn't have any original thought, but to hear her like just parrot things that we've been hearing our entire adult lives, as far as like, we don't hold doors open for anybody anymore.
I hold doors.
It's all just examples of like the old conservative world, and it's like, yeah, but when those things were happening, like people were getting lynched for being black. Like,
yeah,
if you want to bring up
issues
that kind
going
of,
on, then
that kind of mentality, as far as like where those common, I guess, niceties and gestures have come from.
Chivalry.
Like, it stems from a time where things weren't that great, but they're like convincing everybody that it was so great because like I just don't understand it. And to go off saying that none of us are contributing anything to society, it's like, okay, Medicare, pretty sure we pay Social Security,
income tax,
the fire department, like all these things that we pay taxes on are contributions to society, you dickhead.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Like,
I know I'm not a scientist, and not
right.
every person's going to be like a scientist or a fucking mathematician, but like, to go on berating them, saying that nobody's ever contributed anything to society from this younger generation is just an asinine statement of astronomical proportions. It's really offensive. It really irks me because it comes at a time where the political atmosphere in this country is so fucking heated. Like, this is fucking crazy. Like, a reality show star, it has the Republican nomination, and everybody knows that Hillary Clinton's a lying cunt, and nobody's willing to do anything about it. There's been multiple occasions where the DNC has corrupt the voting system, and nobody's doing anything about it. And now, like, all these people who are supporting Bernie Sanders is like, now's the time to, like, expose this entire corrupt and rigged system for what it is. But everybody just wants to throw this narrative at us that we're just this lazy, good-for-nothing, do-nothing generation of kids who want everything for free, even though all you're talking about is shifting what the taxes are going towards to benefit more people than who it's currently benefiting. And especially if you're already subsidizing a majority of those people anyway, why not just throw it all into a single-payer type system? I mean, it's been proven that, well, this may be confirmation bias, but there have been economists that come out and say that Bernie Sanders' Medicare plan will actually save us money, about $1,200 a year for the average American, because all the subsidized medical costs of people who can't afford health insurance, like, that's already paid for at that point. But now it's just going to be less expensive because the government's going to have more of a say in negotiating drug and medical costs. So, off on that tangent, like, I'm just throwing out political things now, but, like, the idea is that narrative gets thrown around a lot, is that younger people don't have a work ethic, they don't have, you know, they're all entitled, they don't have the drive to go and do anything, and it's like, well, how can anybody even go to college right now? Like, tuition rates have gone up thousands of % since, like, the baby boomer generation was able to go.
Showing me those statistics. It's been like,
there was a new infograph that came out from the Bernie Sanders campaign, and obviously it's biased towards his narrative, but what's alarming is the numbers, and the numbers are saying that since the 1960s, you could get a free tuition from Southern California University, or University of Southern California, whatever it is. I'm obviously I haven't been there or to any college in a while, so but basically that you could get in there with a small fee. I think in the 1960s, when they took their specific number from, the fee was like $300, but the rest of it was like tuition free. And then as you see it go along in the timeline, now it's like $18,000
just to get in the door
for a year.
Yeah.
For a year of tuition. So there's obviously been this huge shift in narrative as far as, like, what's acceptable in American society, and that's not really attainable for a lot of people. But if you can have a plan to make it attainable, you'll be getting rid of, like, lazy do-nothing people, because they'll actually be able to go to school and
there's no incentive.
Get a job where there's actual money involved.
There's no incentive to work harder right now, because I know I've worked jobs where I've worked my ass off only to find out after I had left the company I was underpaid. I was the lowest paid in my department, and I was also one of the hardest workers. People would always tell me that. So what incentive is there if the people that are making more than me are doing half as much, if not less?
Right.
You know, what incentive is there for me to work harder?
And that's another thing that I couldn't tell you why.
Yeah, and that's
there
another
seems to
debate,
be there seems to be this idea that we grew up with, that you could work hard and work yourselves up, and then eventually you're the big guy on campus, and that doesn't it's never seemed to exist to me. And I've worked pretty dang hard at all my jobs, and it just seems to be like a shrinking gap. Like it just doesn't exist quite as frequently as it used to.
Right. I've heard that. I can't tell how many times I've been told I have these skills and qualifications, but the positions aren't there. And it's like, cool, well, why don't you give me a raise or something? Because you know I'm already doing this stuff. I'm already doing the job.
Right. And there's...
But no, that's not how it works.
Yeah, and I'm not an economist, you know. And
it's
neither are you.
It's a very frustrating...
yeah,
I mean,
it's a hard place to be in without the credentials to move up, and you have the experience, but all of a sudden to move up you need like a 2-year degree. Well, you came up through the company, and now all of a sudden the next step involves something you can't afford because you're driving to this place every day and you're working your ass off, and it's like it may be enough money to get by, but it's certainly not enough money to get you through college, not enough to even pay it off, and the wages that you would earn at the next step up would definitely not pay it off any quicker than, 10, 20 years? If it's, for a 2-year degree, probably not. 2-year degree, you're probably looking at 4 quarters, which are about,
I don't know,
$800 to $1,000 if you're looking at a community college.
Stuff.
But that was like 10 years ago, so I couldn't tell you what it looks like now. But
I know I just paid off a student loan, and I only took maybe 2 classes on that student loan, and it took me 7 years, and I was paying over the limit every month. And it still
how much did you owe for that?
The 2 classes, I think it was like a $3,000 loan.
Jesus,
just for 2 classes. Oh, and that's a. We'll talk about my college some other day because that's another huge rant.
Yeah, we'll do that. We can get some more control on the subject, but to that lady, I'd like to say go fuck yourself, because it's not really taking into account all the people that do, like, get their hands dirty, and they do abide by niceties and holding the door open and all that shit. You're creating a false narrative, and that narrative just implies that anybody younger than 30 is just a complete piece of shit. And I have to disagree. Because I know plenty of people that are under 30 and they work their fucking asses off. And that's like an honest assessment of those people's personalities and what I have to, as far as other aspects of their life, that I can denote what they probably put into their work. It's got to line up somewhere. But I don't see it. I don't see where this idea is that guys like you and I, we just totally fucking suck, and we're leeching off the government, and we fucking don't attribute anything to society, and it's just a total bullshit narrative. It bugs me so much, and there's all these old fucks that are posting it like, yeah, she's speaking the truth, and it's like, no, she's just parroting like a right-wing narrative. Everybody who's on the right, because they see that people are voting for more progressive ideals, and they tend to be younger, they tend to have, like, maybe labor-intensive jobs. Maybe they're not in the best place in life, but they're younger, and they see a problem, at least in their political system, and instead of judging them for what they're arguing for, they instead just say, oh, they're young and stupid, they want everything for free, they don't want to work for anything. And it's like, no, if you actually analyze all the data that's put in front of you, as far as where it was here when you were my age, where it is now, and all the things in between, when you analyze those things, it's actually pretty good argument to stand for.
And I mean, I hate getting shit for free, honestly.
Honestly, it should bug most people our age.
It's weird. Like, if someone tries to give me a handout, it's weird. Like, I don't like free stuff. If I'm out with a buddy and they cover lunch or something, or like my mom wants to give me food, that's different.
Beers and dinner is different.
That's
but
different.
like getting a fucking huge deal, makes a guy uncomfortable.
I would rather earn it or do something to deserve it. Like, of course, I would love to be financially stable and able to do whatever I wanted on my terms. That's what everybody wants. But I want to earn that or win the lottery, one of the two. But,
yeah. Well,
you know.
I mean, put it in this perspective. And I looked this up. You can find this information. Just look up average house cost for the last 40 years. I got all this information spanning from like 1973. But you can find this information on, I think I pulled a couple from the Census Bureau, and I'd have to actually find the links. I'll post them to you if anybody's interested. But basically, in the state of Washington, the average median wage was about $34,000 in the 1970s.
Shoot.
34 to 36,000. Do you know how much a house cost in the state of Washington? Average cost?
Not that.
$18,000.
You serious?
So for the average median wage in Washington, you could buy a house for about half of your income.
Yeah,
in 1 year. Wow. You could actually legitimately stay home at your parents, work an entire year doing something, and then buy your own house.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
No,
not even
because
close.
You know what the average median house cost is?
I'm guessing 180.
It's about. That's actually correct. On the lower spectrum, it's about 180, but that was in the early 2000s.
Okay.
So now it's gone up to more like 220 to 250.
Damn.
And do you know how much the median wage has gone up?
I'm going to guess not much, maybe 34, 35 still.
6 to 9%.
Wow.
So when people are saying and blasting this narrative that it's just a freeloading kind of empire that's coming forth from this political movement, no. It's based off of all this bullshit. After productivity has increased 240% in the last 40-some-odd years, and median wages have gone up 9%, there's something wrong with that. And not only that, but inflation has gone up all around us, and I don't like hearing that I'm just some freeloading piece of shit for being born into a generation that happens to have a few fucking bad examples.
Well,
so if you want to parrot something, why don't you parrot that?
I'm ready for my handouts then if we're freeloading. Like, I haven't gotten mine yet, so.
Yeah, last time I heard, I could probably be making too much money to get food stamps.
Yeah. I don't.
And things aren't fucking perfect for me, but.
No, it's.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That makes me a little bit angry, that gal, because she's just
apologizing for a generation when she didn't even.
Yeah, sorry that
off.
The entire generation didn't go to war. We didn't have a common enemy.
Yeah,
a lot of people oppose that shit. So I'm not really sure what they're meaning when it's like we didn't contribute anything. What are we supposed to be contributing? She didn't give any example.
No, she was cute though.
I
tried to find a positive in
her
everything.
terrible narrative and the fact that she claims to be a journalist and reads like she's.
Oh, is that what she was?
Yeah, I went to the original source of the video and she claims to be a journalist.
She didn't really paint a good picture of both sides.
Yeah, especially when she reads like this. And everything that comes out of her mouth is as stale as an old box of fucking Lucky Charms.
Oh, God. You know, fun little fact. I had my younger cousins and siblings convinced that the marshmallows in Lucky Charms were actually my poop.
Why would you do that?
Because they really liked them, and they kept eating it.
This is a great segue, by the way.
And it somehow evolved from I poop out marshmallows to I poop out rainbows, to the point where my 23-year-old sister was visiting home, and my now 8-year-old sister sat her down, and had to explain to her that Nikki poops rainbows.
Jesus Christ.
I got a phone call that night and was asked a lot of questions.
What
yeah,
the fuck have you been teaching these kids?
I also had my brother convinced when he was younger that I was Santa. I told him that I was Santa Claus, and my mom got really mad. So my punishment was, because he was kind of a toddler in the Terrible Twos, the punishment was every time he started acting out, I had to go stand in the room, because if Santa was there, he was good. And I thought, you know what, that's fair, I guess.
And this is the exact point where he needed therapy lessons.
Lessons?
Yeah, he's gonna take therapy lessons so that he can teach you exactly the torment that you put him through, and then coach you through exactly what you put him through, so that both of you feel better.
No, well, I'm still a lot stronger than he is. So he actually tried wrestling me the other day, and he's really.
How old is he?
He's 11.
Oh,
so he's
big man Nick.
Yeah.
Taking down an 11-year-old.
I can just palm his forehead, and he just goes, like trying to hit me, and he can't.
Sure, if you hit that kid in the dick, he's gonna like.
So there was
that feels weird. I'm gonna go do that for a while.
Oh my god, that's my brother. Oh, I don't want to think about that. That's gross. But no, yeah, he's really.
He hasn't gotten his weird man retard strength yet. You haven't made him mad enough. He's got to go through his 13.
He's agile. He is agile. Like we were roughhousing, and next thing I know is he's like spider monkeyed his way up onto my back and was like trying to choke me out. And I'm like, when I was his age, I prioritized like speed and strength over flexibility. He seems to have prioritized strength for flexibility. So I mean, he was hard to get a hold of.
Freaking get off me.
But once I finally got a hold of him, I farted on his head and went about my day. That's kind of our
best
bond.
way to claim victory.
It's our bond. He's tried to do it to me.
I fart on the cats all the time.
He tries to fart on my head, but I have the height advantage at the moment. He'll get me eventually, but so he'll like fart on my calf, he'll like clamp onto it, like bear hug my calf, and then just fart like
with his butt cheeks. He'll clamp on with his butt cheeks. Just split your shin.
He hasn't mastered that yet. He's working on it. But yeah, then he'll just like rip these nasty farts. And
Jesus.
Then, and he always picks like Taco Tuesday or something when my mom's making something that gives me gas. So I'll wait. I'll let it gurgle. I'll let it bubble up a little bit. I'll sit there on him and then I'll just let it go.
You just have the pick of the litter.
Like,
this is going to be a good one. And it just comes out like...
It's like...
Those are always the worst smelling ones. Just...
And no, he always makes a mistake. Like, he'll fart on me, and then he'll run away. I'll fart on him, and then I'll keep him pinned.
You ever get those, like, super hard ones at first that just, like, fizzle? Like...
Oh, yeah. That was, like, the one I farted earlier, and you asked if I had farted. That was that.
Yeah, you made a slight ling.
It was, yeah. But, yeah.
I think I'm up to 6 beers right now.
All right.
So that's why the drunken rage came through. I'm sorry.
Drunken rage.
I'm sorry, guys.
He's not sorry. It was really
I'm
entertaining.
not. I really wanted to go harder than that on that gal because she sucks to be around.
I wanted to go
I
harder
bet
on
every
that gal.
example that she can come up with is like the first time she hears about it. See, this is why morals in America are such bullshit. And
I'll just put like all right. I want to be in a room where she's doing that, and I'll put a single donut on a plate in the room and see how long it takes.
Will you never be her donut?
I'll be her banana to her donut.
I somehow doubt that. Nobody has any morals anymore. What? No guys like getting fucked in the ass anymore?
I've never liked getting fucked in the... Oh, I shouldn't say that because I've never tried it. I would assume I would not like getting fucked in the ass.
I would assume that you should stick a finger up your butt and find out.
Why don't you try it and tell me how you like it, and we'll kind of go from there.
I will not disclose that information on the record.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm just going to let you guess whether I've done it or not.
You probably have. You've had a lot of drunken keggers. Everyone gets curious when they're drunk.
Mm-mm.
Everyone.
Never gone penis curious.
Oh, that's a fair point. That's why I always have rules when I go out drinking in public.
Yeah, you just got to keep it real. some people like
Some people's children.
I gotta say, we played a show the other night. I think I had mentioned it a little bit, maybe in episode 2 or 3. Oh fuck!
Beautiful.
It smells like burritos.
Are you gonna be okay?
Yep.
God, that was beautiful.
So there was
I can smell it. God, it's worse
does it
than
smell
your
like
farts.
does it smell like an ass fuck of fire sauce?
It smells like hot dogs. You didn't even eat hot dogs.
That is strange. I had lunch meat earlier. It's the same thing. It's just like flatter and longer.
I fucking hate you right now. God, I wish I had some Febreze. Jeez.
I told you. I warned you on the podcast.
Yeah. I can't wait till we have a guest and you just rip one.
Oh, our guest is going to hate us.
No, I mean, yeah, but they'll come back.
We'll have to do better on our mixer, but we can probably work out. Anyway,
I'm the best.
We had a kind of God dang it. Every time I try to talk about anything, it just bubbles up and gasses out.
Huh, that's what she said.
But we had a show. It's kind of a semi-private thing. There was a dude that either he had been drinking since he was at work or he was just on meth and drinking. Because it was like, it was pretty bad.
Does
like,
not sound like a good combination.
Leaning on everybody, getting this
one of
close to
those
their
guys.
face. Like,
You just got picked up on my mic.
that's why I wanted to do it.
That's going to be weird for the audio.
Well, that's exactly what you can imagine it felt like when a dude was just like in your face.
He was invading
every
your
time
audio.
somebody came up to the group, like maybe I knew you in the group and he was talking to you and you looked really uncomfortable, I'd go up to you and he'd be like, "Who's this?" And he'd get all wide-eyed like, just Jesus, like we're just having fun here.
He was having too much fun.
Oh God, he was lit, dude. He was so lit. But this guy couldn't have been. I'm thinking like 38 is as old as I'll place that dude, and he's getting like fat trashed. I will tell you, he was that way when we showed up. The party started at 4. We showed up at 5.
Was he like balding?
He was
With a
totally
collar?
bald.
Okay. I pictured him like balding.
No,
kind of with a beer belly.
he was like prison bald. He looked like he had done some time. He looked like he could fuck some people up. Like it was kind of
God,
awkward to be around him because he just looked like he wanted to fight everybody.
Maybe that's what he was going for.
But I was like, dude, that guy's going so fucking hard. Like I don't know if he just got away from his girlfriend that he hates or like what the fuck. But that guy, he wanted to fucking fight
got away
somebody.
from the wife and the kids.
He just couldn't
send me to prison so
he
I
couldn't
can stay
piss
away.
anybody else off enough to like throw a swing at him. So I'm just guessing that's what happened.
Oh.
But he was like getting really animated and really close to your ear when he was talking. Just like Jesus.
Man, that reminds me
cringe
of
backwards.
the Family Guy episode when everybody was fucking each other in the ear. Maybe that's what he was going for.
Maybe. It kind of reminded me of this time when I didn't really know what yaoi was.
Oh my God.
And
that's the best segue we've had all day.
I
Continue.
went to a convention down in Portland when I was I think I had just turned 18. But
introduce you to corn.
Was I 18 or 17? I can't remember. It was a while back. I was in high school and hanging out with a bunch of friends. We actually photoshopped like one person bought a badge and we all paid for that badge, and then she was skilled with Photoshop. So she took a picture of it, scanned it in, and made us all like, and it was off of like photo paper too. So it was like that.
Wow.
But it was funny because it was like too big.
Huh.
But they didn't have like a holographic sticker, so we didn't have to like, we were just like, yeah, I don't know what happened. They just made it weird. But yeah, we basically got to go to that one for free.
Nice.
But towards the end of it, there was a plump lady, very concerned with whether or not I knew what yaoi was. And
because that's a serious thing people need to know about.
By the way, I was not well versed in social norms or anything like this, but yaoi was definitely not a big part of the anime circuit quite yet.
Oh man.
But I knew what it was, but I was not yaoi doesn't interest me, but I know that I would have a better time fielding that conversation now than I did then. But all she did was like, "Hey, you should read." Yeah, and it was like, "What is that?" "Oh, it's yaoi," and I'm like, "Good."
Like, what is this?
Can somebody get me out of this situation? And she kept poking me, and just, have you heard of this one? Have you heard of this one?
Oh God!
You should read this. You should read this. You should read this. And it's all yaoi.
The D, or did she want to watch you with another?
I'm
D?
assuming that at this point, like in my life, I can say that she probably just like thought fondly of me and wanted me to read gay porn with her. But it wasn't something that I was into, so thus we bid farewell.
What kind of party would that be? BYOC, bring your own corn.
Oh, Jesus.
I remember when you told me that corn was like the vegetable mascot of yaoi.
It pretty much is.
It was like, you told me that, and we were working together, and it was like all these stars had finally aligned, and I understood so much more about my community.
So many more jokes that I can laugh at now.
I was like, oh my God, I get it. Let me butter the corn. I understand it now.
I wish it's just a phallic symbol.
It's
triggered.
Women have the cucumber, and then men apparently have the corn. Because you can have the circumcised, which is the shucked corn, or the uncircumcised, which is the unshucked corn.
If you shuck corn, you better be farmer, boy.
Farmer Brown. Oh, they call him Farmer Brown. I like you.
I want you.
I want you.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Give me some of that booty meat.
For some reason, that just sounds like the creepiest prison rape that's about to happen. Like that dude just has prison rape vibe all about him.
It is prison rape, but it always reminds me of old Greg. Like when he kidnaps Papa Moon.
I want you. Could you learn to want me?
I'm all Greg. You want to drink Bailey
What's
from a shoe?
Hook? What's this hook doing in my head,
right.
fool?
It's not mine, sir, I swear. It's attached to your rod, mother liquor. I got something to show you.
Easy there, fuzzy little man Peach. Oh, okay. We got to get off this topic of old Greg. I'm sorry.
Because of his mangina.
Shit.
I got a mangina.
Well, I guess that's something corn will fit into.
It would fit into his mangina.
Oh my God, it would fit so well.
You could pop that shit.
I bet it would be super lubed up from his fish oil skin.
Oh my God, I didn't think about that. Shit's supposed to be good for you too. It's like the fountain of youth in old Greg's mangina.
If you had the chance and knew that nobody would find out, would you totally full fuck a fish?
No.
Why?
Wait.
Why wouldn't
the
you?
Little Mermaid, like Ariel?
No, I mean like
a full-on, like legit full fish.
Just a fish.
No,
like
I would not.
A fish that was like big enough to encompass your dick.
No, I would not.
Why?
Because it's a fucking fish.
Nobody's gonna find out. Nick.
I
Why
would
wouldn't
know.
you do it? Desert
I
Island.
would know.
Desert Island, gun to your head. Would you do it?
No, I would. You know what? The seagulls would have something to eat that day. My brains.
Why wouldn't you just eat the fish and not fuck it?
Because we weren't talking about. It probably isn't edible. If it's a fucking fish, you don't eat those fishes.
If you grab it out of the ocean and you're like, I could either fuck this fish and fulfill my sexual desire, or I could eat it and have some sustenance for the next day to come. Should I fuck this fish? Or should I eat this fish to give me sustenance for the day to come? Should I fuck this fish?
And then, like, stuck on loop. Over and
You just stand there staring at the fish for like 15 fucking minutes, and then it's dead, and it starts to smell rotten. So you're like, I guess I better cook this before I fucking
it smells
die.
like home.
I mean, that might be part of the allure to fucking a fish.
It's because it smells like normalcy. It's like, oh, it's like the hookers back home. Oh God! Except this one probably doesn't have the clap.
This one reminds me of the undercarriage of a roller derby girl.
Ew. I pictured it. I was about to say something witty, but God, I'm picturing it.
Oh, man.
Frothy. I can still get you.
Vitamin.
God, you know what else is frothy? Root beer float. I can go for one of those right now.
Yeah, you'd never stick your dick in it, though.
I mean, again.
Yeah. I could either fuck this root beer... or drink it. Have sustenance for the day to come. That float looks like cum. I could either fuck this root beer float or have sustenance for the day to come. Come.
It's fucking terrible. I still want a root beer float. You will not kill ice cream for me. Oh,
talk about a banana split.
That one wasn't as funny as the root beer float.
Well, I worked cum into too many things. I wasn't gonna go for the obvious with like the whipped cream and
Yeah, cherry. You can pop that and then the nuts sprinkled on top.
Yeah,
That's gross.
get some white cream nut.
This took a weird turn.
We're just talking about cum now. Anyway,
What else do we got to talk about?
I was gonna kind of mention that I'm very sad that the playoffs are over for the Thunderbirds. It's well in the past now. This is Thursday before Memorial Day, but it's taken me a while to get over it. Partly because
grieving.
What's that?
Said you've been grieving.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to get over a 4-1 loss in the series. But partially because I worked at a house where one of the dudes works with the organization.
Ooh.
So it was like, I don't know if they're like game used. Dude had a lot of fucking sticks there. And like some memorabilia for the Thunderbirds. And I was like freaking the fuck out.
So you wanted that guy's sticks.
A little bit. He had
wanted
a big
him a lot of
fucking authentic Taron Kozun jersey. I was pretty stoked about that. I'm like, he knows. Taron Kozun's the shit, but I don't know if he's going anywhere. Last I saw, he was a Calgary prospect, and then nobody picked him up. So I'd have to assume he might be a later prospect, but I wouldn't have any evidence to back up that claim. I was pretty stoked when I saw earlier in the season that one of our goalies, Calvin Pickard, had earned himself a spot on the Colorado Avalanche. I was pretty excited about that. Oh yeah, another hockey-related news. Some fat guy broke into the locker room and pissed all over a Russian player's jersey and skates.
Why?
It was for Pavel Datsuk.
Okay.
Like he's known as the Magician, but I think it's like it was his last season in the NHL before he kind of goes home.
Oh.
But yeah, they got it on video too, like just some fat fuck that broke into the locker room and pissed all over his shit.
Because that's what you do on a Saturday night.
Weird. It's just fucking weird. The IIHF was going on.
Wonder how that conversation went down. Yo, Clint, I bet you won't break into that
Let me
locker room and piss on that guy's fucking.
Let me see if I can
jerseys
find
and
it
shit.
so you can at least like see the picture of it, because it's pretty ridiculous.
I can picture it.
Yeah, dude. They had to blank out his penis.
Was it a big blank or was it a small blank?
It was a pretty big blank, but I think they
damn
were
it.
blanking out the stream as well.
That's fucking hilarious.
I think they were accommodating stream. Just a blasting pissed motion. Let me see. Let's see if I can find it in like trending or something.
Gotcha. I mean, how would that conversation, like, I would wonder if he was dared to do that or if he just on his own thought, you know what, this would be a good idea to break into a locker room and piss over somebody's stuff. Somebody.
Oh, there it is.
That is a fat dude.
That is a fat fuck, dude.
Wow. I bet he hides Tootsie Rolls in his fat folds.
USA fan urinates on Pavel Datsuk's jersey inside of Russia's locker room at Hockey Worlds. I'll open this up. It's from Russian television, too, so...
Hey, do you think he's over 30?
Yes. No, he's got to be like 25.
Damn it.
Tops.
Damn.
A shocking video of a U.S. ice hockey fan urinating on a Russian captain's jersey just before Team U.S. was thrashed 7-2 by Russia in the bronze medal game of World Championship has gone viral. The video shows an American fan dancing around Russia's locker room topless and showing off a huge smiley face with an Uncle Sam hat painted on his stomach. Meanwhile, his friends recording the footage proclaims, "Yo, guys, we're at the World Championships in Moscow in the dressing room of the Russians," as stereotypical Russian folk music plays in the background. Jesus Christ. Look at that.
It's hard to look away. It's like a train wreck.
Oh, my God. It continues. The dancing man then goes over to the player's kit and takes a jersey which appears to belong to Russian captain Pavel Datsuk, who also plays for the NHL's Detroit Red Wings. One of the teams I kind of like. His friend warns Crazy Mike not to touch it. "Dude, if they catch us, they're going to beat the shit out of us." There's no stopping Mike, though, as he proceeds to pee, aiming for the jersey, and one of the players skates beneath the bench. However, there are reasonable doubts that the video was real, with the main question posed, how did the fans get through the security to gain access to the locker room? And while locker room seems to be accurate, the player's jersey was obviously not the one Datsuk wore in the tournament.
Well, obviously, he wouldn't wear the same one.
Yeah, well, they probably got multiple
versions.
Well, because those things take dings all the time.
Yeah.
Like bigger numbers and different
jersey,
advertisements on the shoulders make it obvious. The clip was originally uploaded to YouTube by a user named Scott Edwards, but has since been removed. I don't know. That's pretty fucking elaborate.
That was
like
pretty gross.
With the locker room and the Russian in the background. I don't know. That seems like a lot of effort to put into...
Oh, people do stupid stuff just to get online. God, that guy's so gross.
Oh my God.
Remember when
yeah, this might be a fake, but...
Remember when we were talking about
it seems
jogging
pretty convincing right now.
Mentos song, wearing a tank top. I'm not picturing that guy jogging alongside you.
His tits just like flowing in the wind.
No, it's like his whole body is like a gelatinous just mass.
Just moves a fucking amoeba.
It just moves one direction. It's like moving all directions. Like his body is just like.
Oh my God!
Fucking gross.
Yeah, he when he's dancing around, it's pretty disgusting. I'm sorry, I don't mean to fat shame, but. Are people really defensive of like fat shaming?
Well, I mean, he had it coming. If it's like unprovoked,
I'm not talking about this guy anymore. I'm just talking in general. Like, do people really take seriously like fat shaming? Like,
if it's
as
warranted.
if it's not like.
Like, I mean, if it's
I just don't see the point.
Do it, yeah.
I don't see the point in like glorifying obesity and health issues. So it's like a huge problem for me if I can't make a fat joke because somebody's gonna like slit their wrists if they can't eat a slice of pizza. You know.
Man, I can go for some pizza.
I mean,
I'm still mad about that.
I'm
cupcake.
not in shape, but Jesus Christ. If you can't like acknowledge something about yourself, it kind of makes fun of yourself for it. Nobody wants to hang out with you.
I will say that I have heard that the obesity, like I'm actually borderline obesity. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah. According to I looked at a chart, and for my weight, I'm like really close to the cutoff. So it is ridiculous. What they have is like the standard for obese and not obese. I actually saw a video.
That is pretty crazy.
Not a video. I saw an article the other day. This boyfriend was helping his girlfriend clean out her closet. I don't know if she was moving or just spring cleaning, but he was a tiny guy. He was probably.
Oh yeah, I think you've mentioned this before.
Yeah, I would say he's probably around 5'8", maybe $120, maybe $120.
Yeah.
And he was wearing one of his girlfriend's tops, like a spaghetti straps top, and.
Yeah, I think you talked about this in like our second episode.
It was an extra large. Did I? I might have. Well, it needs to be brought back up because it was just bad. Like, I think that the standard is just ridiculous. Because I know I actually dated a girl who I would not consider her overweight. And one day she comes home crying because a doctor said she was morbidly obese.
Yeah, and I've seen that side of things too. But I just don't think there's a point in because there's ridiculous like I know that you for your size you are not obese.
Not even close.
And I know that I have weight issues, but I'm not here to talk about myself, but I'm not going to like just I'm not going to not acknowledge what I look like in a mirror. But I just see like this really big push for like fat fucking people. And it's like there's nothing wrong with it. And it's like, well, to the eye of the beholder. But
there is a certain
you don't
level
want to
where it is
encourage
wrong.
that person to keep eating fucking Cheetos the rest of their life because they're going to develop heart disease.
Right.
Heart disease doesn't care what you think of beauty.
No, it doesn't matter who you are either, because even if I ate like shit, which I do, I'm just as susceptible to a heart attack as, my computer's possessed.
Oh, Jesus.
It just, the light started getting brighter, and it wanted me
Anyway,
to walk towards it.
You're like as... I mean, I
I'm
don't
just
know.
as susceptible to like a heart attack as a fat guy, because I eat a fast food and energy drink-based diet.
Yeah. And I don't know. People's metabolisms are different. I will argue that. But I don't think there's any reason to say that, like, well, my body type's just different because I have 6 hills on my hips.
Yeah,
But
I think it's become such a big issue because the standards are so blown out of proportions.
And don't get me wrong. Like, I don't give a shit.
Right.
It's not in my interest to even give a shit. But to, like, act like it's not a problem...
Which it is.
There are more fat people in the U.S. than there are people who are in shape.
Yep.
It
is
and I'm one of them. I'm one of them. And we should definitely have better standards for ourselves.
Maybe
and
that's why they have obesity considered so high. But then it just depresses people when they when I go and I'm like, what do you mean I'm freaking obese?
Yeah. No, I don't know. There's got to be a more accurate calculation as far as how that's considered, but I would not consider you obese,
No.
dude. You're a rail.
Well, keeping on the inspirational train.
Oh, darling,
Are
you are just a rail. Do you eat anything? I don't know
I'm
where
adorable.
where that accent came from, but
I don't know, but I'm gonna you terrified everybody with that.
I know
We're gonna move on to an inspirational quote
Well, fat boy,
by the late Robin
What is
Williams.
our inspirational quote?
No matter what people tell you, words and ideas can change the world. Robin Williams. Don't say anything because we literally just say words and ideas.
Words and ideas can change the world.
Change the world.
Yeah,
Anyways,
no, we just all expected to stare at
that's what I do.
at all of each other's faces in a big room.
Hey, if
Just in a
everyone
circle.
was allowed to just
That's
stare at
how
my
we
face,
expected to change things. It's just to fucking stare at the paint dry.
if they stared at my face, I guarantee quality of life would improve. If everyone had a picture of me in their home and they could just look at it for maybe a minute a day, quality of life would improve.
I would argue that would be great, but only if you get a real close shave on all of your beard and just have like
Yeah, not
the
right
exact like stubble you have for your mustache, and that's all that's there. You use like a straight blade razor to
I
get
will,
all that beard off,
now. Tell you what,
and
I'll
just have that thin ass mustache.
I'll give you some custom orders. And on that
I want this
on that note, guys, we will catch you guys on Monday in the future.
on Memorial Day.
Guys, you guys have a safe holiday, and we will catch you later.
Do not drink and fuck.